Hey, you. Yeah, you. Welcome to the Malaka podcast.
Unsolved Mysteries. This program is about unsolved mysteries. Whenever possible, the actual family members and police officials have participated in reenacting the events. What you are about to see is not a news broadcast. Ladies and gentlemen, even reading that gives me chills. I'm not gonna lie, I was growing up in the 90s. This show became popular late 80s, ran until about early thousands. This show would scare the shit out of me as a kid. I'm not gonna lie. I always watched it by myself at night. The scariest thing was when they would show those messages at the end and they would just play that, that fucking music that would just haunt my dreams, until the age of now. But this show is awesome. I mean, this is a great show. I mean, we need shows like this because, it's based on true events. And it's important that we catch these fuckers and make sure that they're brought to justice. But at the same time, it's entertainment for us. So everything works out. Now, according to good old Wikipedia, who has never let me down, Unsolved Mysteries is an American true crime television program created by John Cosgrove and Terry Dunn Mueller. I hope I said that right. I'm sorry. Documenting cold cases and paranormal phenomena. Do 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 do. Phenomena. Do 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 do. Why am I such a jackass? All new Unsolved Mysteries. Sorry about that, guys. The show began as a series of 7 specials presented by Raymond Burr, Carl Malden, and Robert Stack, beginning on NBC on January 20th, 1987, becoming a full-fledged television program on October 5th, 1988, hosted by Robert Stack. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't even know this. I went through all 12 seasons recently, so I didn't even know it started off as a miniseries. Raymond Burr, if you don't know him, he's an actor. He's a Canadian-American actor. I didn't even know. Man, I didn't even know he was Canadian. Anyways, he was basically known for doing Perry Mason and Ironside. And if you don't know what either of those shows are, check them out. They're both awesome. Carl Malden, again, American actor. He's done a lot of great movies, including A Streetcar Named Desire and On the Waterfront. But the dude who basically set the tone for this show is the one and only Robert Stack. Now, Robert Stack, before this, he's an American actor, sportsman, and television host. In addition to acting in more than over 40 feature films, he starred in the landmark ABC TV television series The Untouchables, which ran for 4 years. And he even won in 1960 an Emmy Award for Best Actor in a Dramatic Series. So this guy definitely, was no stranger to the business. But this guy just had, like, in my opinion, like the perfect look for this show. Like he looked like a gangster, but he was, I guess, sort of approachable, but at the same time he was scary. I mean, yeah, and I mean that in a really good way. Like he just was so perfect for this show, and his voice was just absolutely perfect. Like from the first episode, he just shows up. And like for the most part, he always wore that like old school like trench coat. I don't know, for some reason, every time I think of this trench coat, I was thinking of that Seinfeld where his dad wanted to sell the trench coats and whatever. It's just like, it's a very old school look. It's awesome. And as soon as he gets on the first episode, he just basically says, our 4 mysteries tonight are connected by common threads: unexplained circumstances, deceit, the suggestion of foul play. At the heart of each is a husband and a wife. These mysteries will be difficult to solve, but the stakes are high when people's lives are involved. Perhaps you can help. We've recreated the events of each story in precise detail in hope that someone somewhere knows the truth. Join me. You may be able to help solve the mystery. And he points right at you, too. Like, he was just perfect. I mean, you literally could not have picked a better guy to host this show. I mean, he just starts the show off right. So they covered a lot of things on this show. The main topics they gave in the beginning here are as follows. The Investigators, Psy Med, Lost Loves, Final Appeal, The Unexplained, Lost Hairs, Missing Persons, and the last one, Wanted. So after 9 seasons on NBC, the program moved to CBS for its 10th season on November 13th, 1997. After adding Virginia Madsen as a co-host during the 11th season failed to boost slipping ratings, CBS canceled the program after only 2 seasons. 12-episode run on June 11th, 1999. The program was revived by Lifetime in 2000, with season 12 beginning on July 2nd, 2001. Unsolved Mysteries aired 103 episodes on Lifetime before ending on September 20th, 2002, an end that coincided with Stack's illness and eventual death. After a 6-year absence, the program was resurrected by Spike in 2007 and began airing on October 13th, 2008. This new revived version was hosted by veteran actor Dennis Farina, who mainly tied together repackaged segments from the original episodes. Farina hosted 175 episodes before the program ended again on April 27, 2010. Lifetime currently airs the Farina episodes in reruns. So the show overall, I mean, had a pretty good run. I mean, what's that, like 30 years? I mean, it was canceled in between here and there, but, and again, this is no disrespect to Dennis Farina, but Robert Stack, I mean, he just, again, I cannot stress this, he just set the tone for the show. And, you know, like I just said, I mean, they repackaged shit, and it wasn't the same, you know? So to have those, like, episodes, like, let's say for the first, like, 8-9 years, I mean, that's when the show, like, was just at its best. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I could talk Unsolved Mysteries all day. I don't have much of a life, but at the same time, I'd like to share with you my favorite stories from Unsolved Mysteries. It still gets me. I mean, the guy's got one of the best voices of all time. Even in the beginning, when, you know, he's just before the scary theme song kicks in there, I mean, it is just awesome. Like, he'll just, like, look in the camera and he'll give you, like, that dead stare, but then he kind of, like, gives this little grin, like he's fucking with you. It's just awesome. I mean, you know, I don't know how they're gonna find another host to top him, but anyways, here's some of my favorite stories. It's late on a moonless night. You're on the dark, lonely road. The shadow seems to reach for you. The sudden rustle of leaves makes you jump. Your heart beats faster and faster. You assume it's your imagination, unless you're on the road to Resurrection Cemetery, just southwest of Chicago. Music playing. Okay, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that last part. That was just in brackets. I'm reading the subtitles. But anyways, damn, Robert Stack kicks ass. He just sets the tone. Anyways, this story is called Resurrection Mary. Now, the whole point of this, it was, I think, in the late 70s, and this cabbie went by, and he saw this woman who, you know, just lit up. I mean, she was dressed in white, and she was dressed as a woman. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is it was basically a ghost. and the cab driver, like most cab drivers, just trying to make a living, picked her up. Who cares if it's a Casper in the back, and just dropped her off at whatever the cemetery there, and then poof, she went away. And apparently this story goes even more deep, where apparently they saw this woman at a party like years ago, and the dude asked her to dance, and then she's like, okay, I gotta go. And it was almost like a Cinderella ghost story or something. So I advise you guys check this one out. Just the whole ghost concept. Are there spirits, walking among us? I don't know. I have no idea. Would you like to be a ghost? Would you like to be stuck on Earth instead of in heaven where it's an open bar? I doubt it. But at the same time, a lot of people still see ghosts. Keep in mind, a lot of people still drink, but at the same time, yeah, there could be still ghosts out there, I don't know. Who knows? If you ever see a ghost, I don't know, just say hello to it, just say, hey, what's up? It's cool, going my way, just, yeah, just be friendly, I don't know if a ghost can actually hold a gun, if it's one of those things that can just walk through walls and shit, but whatever, just, watch your back. Now, the next episode I'm going to talk about aired in season 5, episode 12. Now, I should have mentioned this before. A couple people that you would recognize from other things. Like, for instance, I saw one episode, I saw the dude that played Sharif in Menace to Society. I saw the one woman who was Larry David's wife in Curb Your Enthusiasm. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure in an episode, I saw the old lady that was in Superbad. This is how much TV I watch, guys. In Superbad, remember when Jonah Hill there, he went to the store and he wanted to buy booze, and then he saw the old lady and he was kind of thinking of the scenario, and thanks for buying the booze. Oh, good luck fucking Jules. I will. Yeah, so I could have sworn that was that lady, because I think the episode or the movie aired 4 or 5 years later. I don't know, I'm wasting too much time on this. The point is that by far the most famous person that ever aired on this show was Mr. All Right. That's never been done before. Matthew McConaughey. McConaughey. Cool. I don't know. To me, he'll always be remembered as the dude who played R. Kelly in Dazed and Confused. But anyways, yeah. So, and this is actually a really, really just one of the more graphic episodes they did, because usually with Unsolved Mysteries, I guess someone's about to get stabbed, someone's about to get shot, or they just give you the bits and pieces and all that. But this one, they ran the whole story. So basically what happened in this episode was, it was this dude who Matthew McConaughey played. He was an ex-army guy, and he's just visiting his mom, and he's just cutting grass in the backyard there, and then his mom looks out the window and sees this dude in a red truck, and she's probably just thinking, oh, it's just one of my son's buddies here to visit, whatever. And then this dude does the fucking creepiest thing. He just literally takes off his pants and underwear, everything, and and there's literally kids playing literally down the street, and he just starts walking towards him. So she's freaking out. She's calling the son over, whatever. And he goes out there, he, tells the guy off, what the fuck are you doing? Put on your pants. He's flipping out, whatever, keep an eye on him. And then the guy whips out a gun. And at this point, Larry, who's being played by Matthew McConaughey, he has the dude's keys. And, he just kind of, points the gun at him, and he's slowly backing up there, like, just get back in your truck. And he just shoots a gun off in the air. And then the guy just shoots the guy like 4 times, and like he just brings him into the garage. And then the mother comes out, and she's just pleading with the guy, like, please don't shoot my son. And he slowly backs off. He's going back to his truck. And like, he did, like I said, he got shot 4 times, 3 in the chest and 1 in the head. And even after all that, he's still like kind of going after the guy. So he's just laying on the pavement. The mother goes inside and makes a phone call to the police. And this guy doesn't even fucking take off. Like, he comes back with a shotgun, and as he's going up the driveway, Larry's sister is just driving home and sees this dude like going up the driveway, and literally just took one shot and killed Larry. And then she's just in shock, and like this guy goes back into the truck, sees her, and then he just takes off. Now, keep in mind, like, she pulled up right ahead of him to try to block him off. But, this guy just, like, sped off, and she noticed that her brother just got shot. So this guy's still taking off here. And at the same time, the cops are coming the opposite way. There's one on a motorcycle, one in a car. And the guy on the motorcycle just quickly turns around and just starts chasing him. Now, he's right behind the guy, and they're just chasing him for blocks. I mean, same thing with the cop car as well. He quickly turned around, and, they're just chasing this guy forever. I mean, they're just wondering, what's going to be the next move here. And then at one point, the guy just drives through a fence in a yard, and he just automatically stops him. And then he gets out of his car. He's got the shotgun, and he points it at the one officer on the motorcycle. And, lucky enough, his gun jams. And the one cop on the motorcycle, he just skids to the ground and quickly goes behind a car for coverage. And then he whips out his gun, and then the other officer turns the car around, for coverage, and whips out his gun. They tell the guy, look, put your hands up, drop the gun. And the guy finally realizes he's fucked and just drops the gun. And keep in mind, this lasted like 20 minutes after the murder. So, and then they bring him back to the family, and the mother is just, she just can't handle it. She doesn't want to identify the guy. She just can't do it. And the daughter says she'll do it. And of course, she recognizes him. She starts attacking him, like anybody else would. And yeah, if it was me, I would have ran over the motherfucker when he came out of the driveway. But yeah, I mean, this is just every family's worst nightmare, And the sad thing is, this guy was released on bail after 2 months, and surprise, surprise, he took off. And for a while they were trying to find this guy. Now, because of Unsolved Mysteries, they received a couple tips. One of them was from a guy who he saw the program, and he just realized, yeah, I just did business with this guy. And this was after 10 years. So they contacted Unsolved Mysteries. And yeah, I mean, this guy went all the way to Panama, if you can believe this shit. And, they dealt with authorities here and there. And then after 15 years later, he finally got here to face his crime. Now, this waste of space was sentenced to 70 years in prison. He is considered a person of interest in the murders of 6 young girls in the Galveston, Texas area. This is why it's really important that a show like Unsolved Mysteries exists. I mean, it's a sick world out there. I mean, we all know that, I mean, a lot of times we like to think, okay, like, this won't happen to us, But, I mean, the mother, the daughter, I mean, nobody expected, like you wake up every day thinking that, this will never happen to you, but it's possible it can happen to anybody, and it's important that we bring these guys to justice and they get what they deserve. And it's also sad that like a lot of these guys, I mean, they're on the run for other crimes as well. And, I mean, yeah, it's very important that a show like this exists, and you know we can get the word out there. Now, Unsolved Mysteries also deals with the paranormal as well. You know, things like Area 51. Now, for those of you who don't know what Area 51 is, I don't know what rock you've been living under, but I'll school you a little bit on what that is about. Now, basically, the United States Air Force facility, commonly known as Area 51, is a highly classified remote detachment of Edwards Air Force Base with a Nevada test and training range. According to Central Intelligence Agency, also known as the good old CIA, the correct names for the facility are Homley Airport, ICAO, KXTA, and Groom Lake. Through the name Area 51 was used in the CIA document from the Vietnam War. The facility has also been referred to as Dreamland and Paradise Ranch, among other nicknames. Now, I could talk about this forever here, reading off of a good old Wikipedia. But basically, this is where mankind saw alien life form or light forms. Maybe there was a couple of them for the first time in human history. Now, a lot of people don't want to believe that this happened in 1955. Maybe this happened way before. Maybe it's happened many times since. I don't know. The only thing that trips me out about this whole situation is that when it happened, they said that it was a weather balloon that crashed that was built from the Army. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've done a lot of stupid shit in my life, as you can tell from my previous podcasts. Once again, sorry, Mom and Dad, I still love you. But if I was going to cover something, and if I'm going to tell a lie about something, you got to make the lie believable. Now, it's very possible it could have been, this weird material that, they were experimenting for thunder and lightning, and, I don't know. I mean, me personally, I actually do believe in aliens. I mean, there's got to be more to this than, water and land and Trump as president. What the fuck? Anyway, but, I mean, there's got to be more to this. There really does, So, and I kind of get why they'd want to cover all this shit up. I totally do, because it probably will scare a lot of people. A lot of people will be asking questions, are they here to hurt us? What do they want? And all that. So I totally get it. Mr. Government. But you gotta make the lie believable. Say, I don't know, like a guy was flying a jet or something, and I don't know, he was looking at the porn on his phone, and then he accidentally, crashed into the thing there. Just make the lie believable. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I mean, people to this day, they still talk about like what's going on. I mean, does this area actually really exist? Is it a conspiracy? Are they covering up something more? But then even after it happened, I mean, they got all these like, trucks going by and telling people to shut up. I think the one dude that found it, he got a visit from his home, and he never talked about it again. I mean, did they pay him off? I don't know, was he on schnapps? I don't know, like who knows? But it does seem a little weird, and like I said before, I completely understand. You wanna, not cause havoc in the world. I totally get it, but make the lie believable, please. Like we're not stupid. I mean, okay, we've heard all the jokes, aliens and the probes and all that shit. Okay, we get it. I watched Simpsons as a kid. I know what happens. But I'm just saying, like, make the lie believable. That's all. Or else you're going to end up on Unsolved Mysteries, and, we're just going to assume a lot of shit, and, yeah, bada bing, bada boom, that's it. Watch me make fun of my own Italian race on an all-new Unsolved Mystery. Mom, once again, I'm sorry. Anyways, there's another great case involving a man called Randolph Dial. Now, you'd assume this guy owns a phone company. No, he does not. He actually went to jail because, what does it say here? In 1986, artist Randolph Dial confessed to committing the September 16, 1981 contract murder of a karate instructor, Kelly Dean Hogan. After serving several years in prison, he was transferred to a minimum security unit, Oklahoma State Reformatory. Now, the whole time there, he was a very, chill prisoner. He didn't do anything since, But what happens is, you build up enough trust, and then they tell you to do all these, these little errands for them. Not errands, but I don't know. They'll tell you to plant some stuff like off the prison or something, and they will leave you completely unattended, because apparently, I don't know, they can't afford any more guards, so they're just like, okay, yeah, do what you want, That's one thing I never understood. And I don't know if it's like a states thing, or I don't know if they do that shit in Canada, but like, this is insane, okay? Like, no offense, a criminal is a criminal is a criminal. Now, I get, some criminals are not the same as others. I totally get that. But you can't leave these guys, like, unattended, Because you know what's going to happen? They're going to take off. And that's exactly what this guy did. But a lot of people wonder, okay, so if he's going to take off, he's going to run, he's probably going to need a ride, I don't know, maybe, he's going to call Uber. I don't know. They didn't have that shit back then. But what he ended up doing was he ended up seducing a woman in the jail. Listen to me dramatically say every word like William Shatner on an all-new Unsolved Mysteries. Anyways, yeah, so, and again, like, this isn't Mexican jail. I mean, they don't put everybody in there together, men, women, whatever. This one woman, her name was Bobby, by the way, spelled Bobbi. I don't know why I'm saying this, but, she had 2 daughters, and married to a guy named Randy. Now, Randy Parker was the deputy warden who worked right next door, to the jail. And, he was back and forth there, whatever, seeing the family and then into the jail. And, it was just really close to home. And Bobby, if anything, got involved as well with the prison. And, she worked with several inmates in the rehabilitation programs. And I guess they got very close. They began working together. And, I always tell people all the time, like, once you work with someone, either one or two things happen. You either hate them or you like them. I guess they liked each other. And I don't know, like, you're watching this episode, and I don't know, I'm just going to be honest with you, I don't know, they make Randy look like a big nerd and everything, and then they make Dial here. Dial, he looks like, the best I could describe him is, he looks like the dude from Roadhouse, and the narrator from The Big Lebowski, and just recently the dude's brother in Star is Born. I can't believe I forgot his name. Give me a second, I'll get it. The Dude Abides. Sam Elliott. Sorry, man, I forgot your name. I'm bad with names and numbers. Anyways, by the way, in 2017, he was in a really good movie. He was the main guy in a movie called The Hero. If you ever have the chance, check it out. It's a really good movie. But anyways, yeah, like, he looks exactly like this guy. And I don't know, maybe he charmed her, like, Sam Elliott would in like Dalton's girlfriend there in Roadhouse, and holy shit. I mean, so basically what happens in this story is, they end up running away together. She helps him get out of jail. And, of course, the husband comes home like, hey, dear, where are you? There's just nothing but like a note at home. And he's like, what the fuck's going on here? And, they find out years later, these guys have been, living together or whatever. And, it's just a crazy story because, like, he says that, she never made a move on him. He never made a move on her. She was just more afraid that, like, if she took off, that he would take it out on the family. And then there's kind of like an underlining there that maybe they had some kind of romantic thing. And I don't know. Who knows? But it's just such a fascinating story. I mean, as a guy, I'm almost half embarrassed to say this, but I'm sorry to all the ladies out there, but how much game you gotta have to fucking lure a woman into your world and help you like escape. And she was married with a kid, and she just gave all that. I mean, that is fucking crazy. But the results that they were both captured in April 2005. A tip from an America's Most Wanted viewer, I guess they aired it on that as well, led to Dale's arrest in East Texas on a chicken ranch. Soon after, Bobby Parker was found alive, working on a farm. I'm assuming it's the same farm, but anyways, Dale was returned to prison, and Parker was reunited with her family. The charges indicated that they were romantically involved, and she helped Dale escape, even though Dale claimed to have kidnapped her, meaning that Parker developed Stockholm Syndrome. That's what I'm saying. I mean, this story is fucking crazy. But anyways, Dale also claimed that their relationship was never romantic. He told her that he would harm her or her family if she tried to leave. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a stupid man. I sort of am. I named this podcast the Malaka Podcast. But anyways, I mean, for 10 years, nothing was going on. Nothing. Come on, man. I mean, I bullshit. Anyways, Dale received an extra 7 years in prison for the escape. He died in 2007 after a lengthy illness in Oklahoma at the age of 62. Parker's trial began in July 5th, 2011, and she was convicted of helping Dale escape. After serving 6 months of a 1-year sentence, she was released and has since moved back in with her husband, Randy Parker. Wow. That guy is a very forgiving man. Like I said, guys, like this is a fucking movie. I mean, I don't know who you could get for the woman, but yeah, I mean, Sam Elliott, man, if you're not doing anything, I would pitch this idea to a movie studio and get this ball rolling, man, because I don't know, for all those years, I would love to know what happened. I mean, obviously you can only get her point of view, but I mean, there's got to be more to the story. I mean, this guy must have called somebody within those 10 years and go, guess what I've been up to? I don't know. I mean, although it's crazy because, like, this sort of reminds me of the recent story that happened, like, 4 or 5 years ago? That's right. It's called Escape at Dannemora. I hope I said that right. It stars Benicio del Toro and Paul Dano as the two dudes. I'm sure you guys heard about this on the news. Two guys escaping, and they seduce the one female warden in there. In the show, it's portrayed by Patricia Arquette. I mean, all three of them do an excellent job. The series is directed by Mr. Ben Stiller, who obviously is known for more comedies. But anyways, I'm just saying, check it out. I mean, this story is very similar to the one I just said. And I mean, again, like, this is why this show's great. I mean, like, some of these stories you hear. I mean, you just can't believe they're real. But yeah, it's all real, man. I mean, this is pretty trippy. Another, I guess you could say, trippy story is when Unsolved Mysteries covered the escape from Alcatraz. Now, for those of you who don't know what Alcatraz is, it's a jail that, well, it's closed now. I guess a lot of people know it from the movie The Rock, but yes, it was an actual jail. And yeah, three guys escaped: Frank Morris, Clarence Anglin, and John Anglin. Obviously, both those guys were brothers. They basically, it depends who you ask. I mean, they actually escaped from the jail. Did they survive the water? I don't know. I mean, it was nighttime. It was cold. A lot of people say it was impossible to survive it because they made their own raft. It would have fell apart. It was too cold. The conditions were horrible. They didn't know what was waiting for them in the water. But then again, adrenaline, maybe that'll just give you that extra boost to escape, So on Unsolved Mysteries, I mean, they covered this for, over an hour, and it was a really cool special. I mean, they even showed an example of, I believe they got like an Olympic swimmer to show, how it is possible to actually, survive that. Keep in mind, he was an Olympic swimmer, and it was during the day, so I'm sure that made it different. And then they had other three dudes, for example, use the same raft, or the same, raft that they built, whatever, back then. And you see if they could exist as well. And yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but it's definitely worth checking out. And it's cool that Unsolved Mysteries would do a little thing like this because, yeah, I mean, this is a major thing that happened. I mean, they made a movie out of it. Clint Eastwood, it was great. And yeah, to this day, they still have no idea if any of these guys existed. Like after escaping, I mean, who knows? I mean, it's funny though. Like, there's a scene in the movie with Clint Eastwood where he's talking to the one black gang there, and there was a rumor going around saying that apparently he talked to them because he was their connection to the outside, and maybe a boat met them halfway or something. Another person said when they were doing the search, they could have sworn they saw a body floating or clothing. I mean, who knows? But again, it's an unsolved mystery. Another great thing that Unsolved Mysteries always checks into is, maybe a funny story, maybe something, that could happen in just old buildings, being haunted. A perfect example of that is the Comedy Store. And for those of you who don't know what the Comedy Store is, it is a stand-up store. No, it's not a store. It's a stand-up club. A lot of comedians go there. It's been there since the beginning of time. I could do a whole podcast on that one, but do your own research, okay? I mean, I only do so much shit, I mean, 8 people listen to this. But anyways, there's a great story by a dude named Blake Clark. Now, if you know who Blake Clark is, don't worry about it. This guy, no, I'm just fucking with you. This guy's actually a really funny guy. This guy is always in like every Adam Sandler film. I mean, I always remember him in The Waterboy, the guy that just talks funny, Yeah, that guy. I saw him. I think he owned a store in Home Improvement too. But he's a funny guy. He looks like an average Joe guy. I love him. But he's telling the story how, the place is haunted, and especially the basement for some reason. And there's times where like waiters and waitresses after hours, they'll see like these stools move and chairs and things will be stacked up together. And, so anyways, like he was telling the story how him and his buddy went down the basement, and everyone's always like, oh, don't go down there. It's haunted. And, they're like, fuck it. We'll go down there. We need papers. And, yeah, so, Yeah, they say they, saw a ghost or some kind of shit fly off and whatever. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying I don't believe in ghosts. I have a very open mind, to everything, But I'm just saying, I mean, there's a lot of marijuana that is floating around that place. I'm sure there's bong resin there from 1971. So, you know, again, it makes for an entertaining story. I'm not saying I don't believe it. I'm just saying it's funny. I mean, it's very possible. I mean, that's the great thing about the show is like you find out, some of these houses are haunted and, the family's got to live in there and, they don't give a shit because it's cheap rent, especially for today's prices. And, just, whatever. It's just, it's funny. I don't know. And then at the end of the story there, I don't know, they have Robert Stack, read one and, he always ends it kind of seriously. And then, he's like, there's been lots of legends. Oh, there's another legend. Oh, and then they make the stool float behind him, whatever. I'm like, come on. Like, don't, I mean, that's the only time I remember seeing a story there that they ended it, like, funny, I guess, and, again, it's always funny seeing Robert Stack, like, smile. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's got a good smile, but, like, I get, you think of him as, like, the voice, and he's just, I don't know. He still scares the shit out of me to this day. I don't care. I remember when he was on that. What was the movie with the two guys from South Park? Yeah, the basketball. Yeah. And yeah. They even got him in there because I know the Trey Parker and Matt Stone. I don't know. They love the old school guys, and they got him in there for a little bit, and it was more to be a comedy bit. But again, he still scared the shit out of me. So, what am I trying to say? Robert Stack and Ghost, do scare the shit out of me. I know one of them for sure existed. So, but Ghost, I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I don't know. But someone knows. Another segment they always like to do on Unsolved Mysteries is missing people. Now, there's one story I find very interesting. It's the disappearance of Sneha Annie and Philip. Sorry. Sneha Annie Philip. Right. So, the whole point of this is that they say that she disappeared on 9/11 or around 9/11. So, I know you're probably thinking, okay, yeah, a lot of people, helped during 9/11. They couldn't find the bodies, Like, it was just a horrible day for, the whole world. I mean, it was just crazy, and, they say that this woman disappeared because she helped out people during 9/11 and, they were never able to find the remains. But a lot of people say that she was living this double life because, it was like she was living with her boyfriend at the time. And there was a videotape of her in some kind of department store or whatever, but she was with an unidentified woman. And, they're wondering, okay, who's this woman that she's with? Is it a friend? Is it a family member? I mean, who knows, So a lot of people speculate that, they were lovers and, they just took off and, but to this day, I mean, the family still believes that, she disappeared during 9/11 and she was just part of that, so I know it doesn't sound like a very interesting story, but I don't know. To me, it is interesting. I don't give a shit what you guys think at this point. But anyways, no, I'm just being honest. I mean, but at the same time, like it is weird, because you just assume that people, a lot of people disappeared during 9/11, but like you always have these cases on Unsolved Mysteries, like these people living double lives, and they're just completely out of it. I mean, a lot of times I'll see these stories and, a lot of the parents are like, oh, my daughter wouldn't do that or my son wouldn't do that. It's like, you know what? There's a great line in Sopranos. The one guy that died, I forgot his name. He was in the first couple episodes there. And he was great in Beer League too. I don't know, all these obscure references today. But anyways, he said a great line. He said, kids, you think you can protect them, but you can't. And it's true. I mean, like, and you know, okay, this woman wasn't a kid or anything, but you know, it's just like anybody. I mean, like, you really think, you know, you may know a person, but you really don't. I mean, I've always had this theory, like, best case scenario, you'll probably know somebody, let's say 90%. That's the best case scenario. You can be married to someone for 50 years, you'll maybe know them 90%. Everybody's got their secrets. Everybody's got shit that they don't want to admit. And again, I'm not trying to be like racist or anything like that or nothing like that, but appears this woman was Indian. Now, I know from the Indian culture, you know, again, no offense to you guys, but I know you guys don't like the whole lesbian gay thing and all that shit. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, again, this woman could have been having, you know, an affair with another woman, and you know, of course, maybe the family, yeah, didn't know. Maybe nobody knew. Maybe she just wanted to, you know, just escape it all, and you know. But again, this is a perfect example of a story that's on Unsolved Mysteries, because you will never know. I mean, there's been no trace of her since, and you know, again, like I mean, if you're a family, I feel very bad for the family either way. I mean, you know, it's either, you know, she died or she took off. I mean, either way, I mean, your kid is missing. You have no idea what's going on. You have no closure. And that's, again, why this show is so important, because it puts a story out there, and a lot of people do get closure on, you know, their situation. So, you know, I always find stories like this interesting, because, you know, even if it is made up, you know, but then again, it could be true. We don't know. Now, here's another story that, I mean, they always cover a bunch of stories like this about scammers and, you know, people just, I mean, there was this one story before about, I don't know, this one psychic lady. She would tell this one person to burn her money, and then she was just pocketing the money, and she pocketed, yeah, I mean, like just an insane amount of money over the years. I mean, she got caught, whatever, with a bag of jewelry at a hotel. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the, they look like the Diaz brothers, but their names are Mario Yunus and Omar A. Royo. Now, these two dudes were basically scammers. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. And, you know, they would pitch, you know, different scams, apparently. But one scam I found very interesting is they would sell, and I swear to God, I'm not making this up, accordion classes. So apparently, I don't know, there was someone else other than Steve Urkel playing the accordion in the 90s. But yeah, so, you know, of course, you know, they would never, you know, like fully pay these people back. And apparently one of them, like, I swear to God, you got to Google this picture. The one dude, I forgot which one, he wanted to use the money to pitch one of his albums. Now, the way the guy is posing on the album, he literally looks like Pitbull. I'm not even bullshitting. So, the artist, not the dog. And yeah, it's just, you know, I mean, it's just a bunch of details about this shit. I don't know, I'm running out of time with this podcast. But anyways, I'm just saying, like, yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, there's going to be a point in your life where someone's going to approach you with some bullshit, whatever. You know, it's like the old saying goes, if it's too good to be true, then it usually is. So, you know, keep that in mind. You know, if there's people out there scamming, I mean, you know, fucking shame on you. Just go get a job like everybody else, a real fucking job, okay? You know, stop scamming people. Just, you know, do what you got to do to make money, you know, but do it legally. That's all I'm saying, you know. But let's be honest, I mean, no one's going to listen to your shitty album, you know. I'm telling you, look at the album cover. It looks horrible, you know. You just look at the guy and you just think, Dali. But anyways, I got one more story to tell, and there's a reason why I saved this one last, is because I remember this one really scaring the shit out of me when I was a kid. Now, again, it's just a kid. I'm not afraid of this now. I mean, I sort of am. I mean, this could actually happen to anybody, but this actually is a pretty fucked up story. So there's this woman. Actually, that's putting it lightly. There was this cunt that was married to a really nice guy, and all he wanted was to live a simple life with him and his wife and his kid, and that's it. So then one day, she just wants to apparently help him out because he's trying to work out and build up some muscle, and she says, "Here, try this chocolate shake I made you." All right, seems harmless enough. Came in this weird kind of very 90s sports bottle. Like remember those long plastic green bottles? They're thick, but then like you can only put like maybe like 20 milliliters worth of water in there for some reason. I don't know. And they had all these weird like baseball logos. But anyways, yeah. So the guy starts drinking it at work. And at first he's taking a couple sips, and it just starts burning and whatever, and he's like, oh, okay, it's probably just supposed to taste like this, and he takes a little bit more, and I mean the guy just gets violently sick. I mean, like his stomach, just everything is just hurting inside, and of course they find out later on that he was poisoned by his wife, and it was just really sad. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, like guys, girls, I don't care. If you want out of a marriage, just say you want out, man. Don't like ruin food, for guys. And this poor guy, he's still recovering from this injury to this day. He's gonna have permanent damage, to his body. And I mean, fuck, if you want out, just get out. That's it. Like whatever. I mean. And the reason why I do tell this story is because I do remember specifically being a little kid. My mom at the time was in bed just relaxing, and I literally went up to her and I told her I was scared because this could easily happen to a chubby kid like me. I mean, this could happen. I think to this day this is why I like vanilla over chocolate. I think I'm just playing it safe ever since then, But anyways, I told her. I said, the guy just said it was just, it tasted like a chocolate shake, knowing my mom, she's just laughing her ass off, and, there you go. I apologize to my mom twice in this podcast, so this one's for you, Mom. So have a good laugh over this one, but. It is a scary thing. I mean, like anybody could be poisoned, and at any time. I mean, by anything. It could be a lethal injection. I mean, there's a story before about a guy injecting a woman, and that's why he wanted to cremate her because he didn't want any evidence. And they dig up the body, and then they find that this guy, and then she's trying to, kill him with, chocolate shakes and. Bullets and knives, and I don't know. You don't know what the fuck is going on in this world. It's a crazy world. But like I said, it's important to have a show like this that brings shit like this to life. So we can help all the people out there and just make people aware. Yeah, it's a nice little world out there, but you got to be aware of shit. There's people abducted every single day. How many times have you been on the bus or subway or in your car or, taking a shit, and then all of a sudden your phone goes off, beep, 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 and then, Amber Alert, I mean, there's a reason for that, If anything, actually, I totally forgot to mention this. It's funny I mentioned that, but there was a woman on Unsolved Mysteries the last couple of seasons. I remember there was a segment, and that's where the Amber Alert came from. So it came from that woman, and then Unsolved Mysteries and da. So I mean, again, this is why it's great to have these shows. It creates all this awareness. So, but where does Unsolved Mysteries come now? Like, where does it go now? Like, well, like what are we gonna do about Unsolved Mysteries now? Well, apparently they are gonna reboot it again. according to Mr. Wikipedia here, or Mrs., I'm not sure. A 12-part reboot was announced by Deadline Hollywood on January 19th, 2019. The program is being refreshed by Stranger Things executive producer Sean Levy and his company 21 Laps Entertainment, along with Cusgrove Mirror, Meurer. Oh, I gotta learn to read. Productions and Netflix. Cosgrove and what I just said, are expected to show run the program, with Levy and Josh Berry as executive producers. Robert Wise will act as co-executive producer, along with showrunner Same. Each episode will focus on one mystery. Okay, so I'm assuming each episode will probably still be an hour, which is cool. It's just gonna have one mystery. All right, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. They haven't announced though who's gonna take over the voice. I've been told that they just finished taping the first episode, but nobody knows yet who's gonna narrate it. Who's gonna live up to Robert Stack, man? It's gonna be tough. That's gonna be big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill. Sorry, I was just reminiscing on the old school Simpsons. But yeah, let's see what happens. Oh, I'll tell you what I don't want to see happen. Okay, so what was it? The first 6, 7, 8 seasons, they had the same theme, okay? And then they tried to do a different version, and then they did this kind of a remix version, and shit. It's just fucking stupid. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. The original theme is the best theme, okay? So I hope, you know what? They rebooted Magnum P.I., okay? I watched the first episode. I wasn't really into it, I'm not going to lie. But it is what it is. It's still a hit show. I hope the guy does well there, whatever. But they were smart enough to keep the original theme. Why? Because there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, so I did a little bit more of a, happiness to it. But you get the idea. But that shit is fucking perfect. Don't mess with it. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. So that's the best advice I can give to these guys. Even the new Twilight Zone was, they tweaked it a bit, whatever, but still keep the original. There's nothing wrong with the originals. It still scares the shit out of me. Whatever. Just keep it original, please. That's all I ask. And keep the great stories coming. Shit, I forgot to mention, I'll mention it quick. There's this one episode where there's this drug dealer who was part of the cartel, whatever. He got arrested. He was in the hospital there, and his family came in there, and they just it was so crazy. They had him dress up as the sister, and brought in a fake wig, dress, and he was able to walk past the guards, and he got out no problem. And then later on, the sister just walked out, no problem. Again, just awesome little stories like that is just what makes Unsolved Mysteries so cool. I'm not gonna lie, if I was a guard and I saw the dude walk out, even in plain clothing, I would just be let him go, because you don't want to fuck around with the cartel. But anyways, yeah, just keep those great stories coming. And as a reminder, tonight's mysteries are stories without endings, all missing that one vital clue. Perhaps someone watching tonight knows what happened and can reveal the truth. Perhaps it's you. Always wanted to say that. But yeah, even to this day, if you still have any information about any unsolved mystery cases, go to unsolved.com. And I believe the 1-800 number still actually works. I'm not sure. Like I remember from the Angry Video Game Nerd, the 1-800 number from Who Framed Roger Rabbit is now like a line for hookers or something. But again, who framed Roger Rabbit? And is he now a pimp? Those stories on the next Unsolved Mysteries.